Take 4. Daydreaming about why water boils while you make some mac and cheese for no reason. Have you ever made mac and cheese? It seems like a pretty simple concept, but have you ever made it yourself? Or has your mom always made it for you and you just eat it when it's ready? Well, imagine a scenario where your mom actually leaves the house and goes out. What are you supposed to do? Fend for yourself? Well, you think about it for a minute and you decide you want some of her mac and cheese, but you've never made it before, so you go grab a box of it. You find the box and you decide on craft. So you read the directions, you open the box, and the first step is to get a pot of water to boil. So you get a pot of water, you set it on the stove, and then you wonder, why does water boil as you sit there watching it, and how does it work? It might seem like a complicated question, but they have really simple answers, and it's all got to do with chemistry. To understand how water boils, you must first understand that all things are made of molecules, like this chair. Some of the most common molecules that you've heard of is probably carbon, oxygen, or hydrogen. Well, water is made up of two. It's made up of 2 hydrogens, here and here, and 1 oxygen molecule. And water is seen in 3 different states. The first state is ice, where the molecules are slow moving and hard. The second state is water, in a liquid state. And the third state is vapor, that's sometimes invisible, but sometimes you can see it. So let's look at the microscopic level. Ice is full of molecules, but they're all really close together and they're really slow moving, so they don't create a lot of friction and they don't have a lot of energy. Therefore, it's really cold and it's solid like a rock, and it's hard to break since they're so close together. And then in the second state, liquid, the molecules are looser, they move a little bit faster, and you can move it around. If you put water into a container, it'll take the shape of anything. If you spill it on the floor, it'll fall everywhere. It doesn't hold its shape. And then the third state of water is water vapor or gas. It's really hot, the molecules are moving really quickly, and they're really far apart. So they have a lot of kinetic energy and lots of space between them. So how does water boil? How does it go from a liquid to a gas, sort of? What do I do? How does it work? Well, you have to add heat. Heat, also known as energy, makes the molecules gain energy and move faster so that it can switch between the different states. Let's look at a microscopic level. So you have your pot on the stove, and let's zoom in. We see all these liquid molecules right here, and we see the heat going into them. So the red line around them is them gaining energy. They start to move faster and they start to get hotter. And then they get hotter and more faster, and they start to move around way, way, way more. And you see bubbles start to form at the bottom and rise to the top. So because the heat is at the bottom of the pot, the bubbles form as the gas there, because the molecules are forming as a gas in the bottom. And then because the gas is less dense than the water, it'll slowly rise to the top like an ice cube. And it'll create water vapor up here. And then as you continue to keep the heat on, more bubbles will form and more bubbles will rise to the top and create more heat and steam. So now you understand how water boils. It's pretty simple, right? Easy to understand, pretty much. So it's time to add your noodles in. Noodle time! And you keep the heat on as the water boils. You add your noodles and they go into the pot. They start to cook. And then you're very happy because you just learned something. You understand it now. And you're ready to continue making your mac and cheese. So you add the noodles, you let them dry, you strain them, whatever the directions say on the box. Now you enjoy your mac and cheese because you're a newly self-sufficient child. Your mother's not there. You've done everything on your own and you're very proud of yourself. So congrats. Enjoy your delicious mac and cheese. And now you understand how water boils. Now you understand how to make mac and cheese. Congrats.